The information expressed in the following podcast is intended for educational purposes only and was created by and belongs solely to Believe Limited and the Flow podcast and does not necessarily reflect the views of our sponsors. Please speak to your healthcare provider before making any medical decisions.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and welcome to Flow. I'm here like every month with Sarah Watson, sex therapist, and we are sitting here, Lisa Williams, CEO of Hello Again. We are stoked to flow with you today. We're going to talk about healing with CBD and THC suppositories, among other things. But first, we all want to know, how's your flow? Welcome once again to Flow. We start off Flow with that quick check-in to normalize the reality of menstruation. By answering that question, we all want to know, how is your flow? Where are you in your flow? I'll go. I think I'm ovulatory. Like I'm not quite luteal. So I'm like right here for y'all. Representing what's going on inside.
Good. So I haven't had a period in 10, 11 years. I had a hysterectomy about 11 years ago. I had large fibroids in my uterus. And at that point, that was the second time around that I was having fibroids, and it was the size of a 5-month fetus. So I know. So that was my option to have a hysterectomy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I have no flow, but I got flow.
Well, and we always talk about hormonal flow is part of flowing, which goes on post hormone shifting. Goes on in a lot of things. Hormones are still running through our body. So thanks for flowing with us today. And representing Michigan, Sarah Watson.
Ovulatory too. Like I feel like it could happen right now or tomorrow because I've got the feels, I've got the things. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, maybe this show just will
just let it
emphasize.
Out. Let it out. We'll see.
Let it all flow. Today on Flow, we are going to talk about healing. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsor.
This ad is brought to you by Von Vendy, Von Willebrand Factor Recombinant.
Hi, my name is Nicole. I didn't always feel empowered to speak up for myself or ask for the care and support I needed. Becoming part of a community and hearing other people's experiences helped to change my perspective. That's why my deciding factor is making my voice heard. To hear my story and access other helpful resources, drop by Von Vendy, that's VONVENDI.com/patient-stories.
You're having some what's happening over there?
I'm not used to this space, Sarah. I need my routines. Okay.
Yeah, it really looks like you're in a closet, which I'm into, but like I can tell she's feeling different.
The fallopian tube came off.
Oh no!
Oh no! We can't have that.
We need the fallopian tube. Well, some of us.
I'm gonna do surgery. It's like, thank goodness I did that Operation game. What was that Operation game?
Yeah, Operation for sure.
Yeah, Operation where you go in with the little tweezers
and you get buzzed. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that they didn't have the man that they used wasn't a woman and didn't have a uterus? You ever notice that?
I did.
Yeah. One of the many ways we learned about bodies that didn't explain what could occur.
This is why
you have the organ.
We have issues in
the man's world.
In the man's world, yes.
I certainly didn't hear about fibroids, and they run in my family.
Ooh.
Did you, Lisa? When did you hear about fibroids for the first time?
When I had a miscarriage.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Had you heard? You hadn't heard about them before. You didn't know what they were. That it was something that could occur.
Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. Yeah. And my ex-husband and I were trying to get, I was trying to have a baby, we were trying to get pregnant. And it took about, 6 or 7 months of trying. And I finally ended up pregnant and then miscarried about 12 weeks into the pregnancy.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then, but at that time, I felt like we were starting to have like some fertility issues and things weren't working the way we thought they should be working. And so started to see some multiple doctors. and discovered that I had multiple fibroids in my uterus. And so at that point, I had what's called a myomectomy. So they go in and they cut your uterus open and they just remove the fibroids. It was the most painful recovery. Let me just tell you, the most painful recovery, which then led me to when I did get pregnant, I had to have 2 C-sections. I couldn't deliver vaginally because of the way that my uterus was cut open.
Now, and just a follow-up question, is that the same way in cesarean it's cut?
It's my understanding that my uterus was cut this way, up and down for the myomectomy, and then it's cut across for a C-section. So I don't anymore because I don't have a uterus, but had a big X. So I couldn't, like, the risk of me, if I delivered vaginally, the risk of my uterus bursting was huge. Very high.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's intense.
It's intense.
We do talk about extreme things. That's what we're here to do. Straight talk about it. If there's any like details you're open to sharing or signs you had to know what kind of doctors you needed to see or how you looked.
Yeah, of course. Happy to.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you said multiple doctors. Who was the first doctor you went to?
So first doctor is, of course, my OBGYN, right? Like that's the first stop. And, did ultrasounds, well, let me back up.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you how awful my miscarriage was?
Yes.
Let's start there. Okay.
Please.
So this was 27 years ago. Okay. So my OBGYN was in a large practice with multiple doctors. So if you could imagine, you walk into the waiting room and there's probably 30 people waiting, 30 women waiting at the same time. And it's kind of overwhelming. So let's just say that. So I finally get pregnant. And my ex-husband and I are elated, right? And I'm working, and it's Christmas time. It's around Christmas time, and I have to go buy a bunch of gifts to give away to my clients. And so my boss sends me to Hickory Farms. I don't know if y'all know it.
Yeah.
And I'm buying these like big, huge trays of Hickory Farm, stuff. And I'm carrying them around in a mall in these ginormous bags. And all of a sudden, I just feel this rush of fluid go down my legs, and I run to the bathroom and blood is everywhere, like everywhere. So then I'm, of course, frantically calling my husband, and he's like, let's go meet at the doctor. He calls the doctor, and I'm an hour away, and we meet at the doctor. I can't believe I'm remembering all these details. Yeah. It's so long ago. I haven't even told this story.
Oh, wow.
And okay, so we meet at the doctor. Of course, he does an ultrasound. We still have a heartbeat. They send me home, put me on bed rest. The next day, I get up to use the restroom, and I just feel like a rush of, fluid, again, blood and all that stuff. So I go back. They schedule me for a DNC. So let me remind you that this is a very large practice with a lot of doctors that have a lot of people, women coming in and out of this practice. I go and have my DNC done. I go home and rest. And a couple of days later, we're out shopping because it is Christmas time, right? And so we're out shopping, walking around stores, the mall, all that stuff. And this is probably like 4 or 5 days after the DNC. And again, I feel a rush of blood coming out. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? So we go to the hospital at this time to find out that the doctor who did the DNC did not actually get any of the fetus.
What?
Right.
They left the fetal tissue. So what did
he get? We don't know. So then we go back to the doctor and we're like, we want to see the pathology reports and we want to see the labs and we want to see everything. So those had been sitting on his desk, but he never read them, nor informed me, his patient, that there was still viable fetus still living or not living, but inside me. So this is an awful long story. And at the hospital, I go to use the restroom, and basically I passed the fetus at that time in the hospital.
How much do you know how quantifying the amount of blood that comes out of one when that sort of situation happens?
I don't even know how to explain it, because it happened
shining
so many times.
Right.
You know, like it happened the first time, and then I'm on bed rest, and then it happens again, and then we do a DNC, and then after the DNC, you know, you have a little spotting, you have a little drip, you know, you're wearing probably a panty liner, maybe like a light pad, but the amount of blood that comes out when you're passing the fetus after they did a DNC, it's I mean, the toilet, I mean, this is awful. It's awful. It's an awful story. The toilet had everything, the fetus, the blood, everything. And so anyway, needless to say, we tried to, you know, pursue legal matters with the doctor. It didn't, we just were able to kind of make sure that it was a mark on his, you know, on his record, but good. That was it. Ugh. So that's what happened with the miscarriage. But then we go find a new doctor, and now we're looking for a new OBGYN, which we found, and believe it or not, he's still my OBGYN.
Oh, that's
30
amazing.
years later.
That's amazing.
Yeah, a strong story. Good relationship.
Yeah. And then we also found a fertility specialist who did the myomectomy.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So I've had lots of female problems. Like, I'm a perfect candidate for all the shit that happens. Can I say shit on here?
You can say shit.
Say whatever you want.
We like a good F-bomb. Yeah.
Okay. You know, like I'm a perfect candidate for a lot of doctors dismissing a woman for, not my current doctor. We have a great relationship, but in the past, dismissing a woman for issues.
Yeah.
Well, and if we may go back to the relevancy of this story, I'm sorry, where did you say you were located for this Christmas story?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. So miscarrying in Texas, miscarrying at all right now is really dangerous for a woman's life.
Yeah.
It's not like an option. It's just
but this was 27 years ago. This was a lot. I mean, my son is 25, so this was a year and a half before he was born. So this was 27 years
I'm saying
ago.
that's why it's relevant that right now there's women dying because if the fetal tissue has a heartbeat, they're not allowed, even if she's going septic, to continue the DNC. And that is something that's current. Right. 27 years ago, you had access, and there was still
an issue,
right?
In the task completing to be able to, and you had to go through. What can you talk us through just how you left that restroom? Quite frankly,
So I really, to be honest with you, and thank God my ex-husband at the time was he took care of everything, because literally I could not function.
Sure.
He's the one that pursued the doctor. He's the one that went and looked for, the path. I mean, he had the wherewithal. Me, I literally couldn't, I was like kind of lost in my emotions. Plus it's the emotion of getting pregnant, your hormones of getting pregnant, losing the pregnancy, and still having a pregnancy in you for, a couple weeks without you even knowing. So my hormones were so all over the place. So thank God for him. Honestly, he's the one that pursued the doctor, the pathology reports, read everything cover to cover.
Yeah.
I let him just really handle it. So I will say he is my ex-husband, but I will say he did take care of a good part of what was going on with me during the time that I really needed him to do that.
That's great. Not everyone has partners that step up like that. And the fact that he did, because hormonal shifts and changes during pregnancy and after a pregnancy are just bonkers. And I don't think we talk about that enough either, right? Let alone everything you just shared, but like the emotional roller coaster it is, whether it is a successful pregnancy or not,
Or
is
not.
insane.
Yeah.
I felt like
Well,
I was going insane at times.
yeah. And your boobs are starting to get
Yeah.
swollen
Ugh.
and sensitive
Mhm.
and, just everything. Like
Yep.
the whole part of being pregnant and then losing the pregnancy like instantly. And so then
Right.
your hormones crash, right? And now
Yep.
you're going back into starting to have a period and going back into ovulation and all of that stuff. I mean, it was a roller coaster.
Yikes. And so then you find new physician, you fertility specialist, and then bam, fibroids. Like they immediately find them.
Well, yeah, they
Okay.
do through ultrasounds and
Okay.
through trying to detect, we never could say the fibroids caused the
Sure.
miscarriage. They're never going to tell you that.
No.
We're going to assume that they did because after I had them removed, within 2 months, I was pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had the surgery to remove them in September. I was pregnant in December.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But also, what another whirlwind for you.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, can I just tell you, recovering from uterine surgery is, for a woman, it is so excruciatingly painful.
Yeah.
It's so painful. That surgery, I mean, because, I don't know how that's different from a C-section. Maybe because when you have a C-section, you have a baby to take care of. And so you can't really think about how much pain you're in,
right.
or the recovery that you're in because you're
Right.
in mom mode. But, when that surgery, I just remember laying on the couch for weeks, like literally could not move for a while. So it kind of knocked me out. And I'm a very active person. I love to exercise and be outside and do all those things. So yeah, it knocked me out.
How long do you think it was? Like you said, a couple weeks laying on the couch, but how long was your pain like as high as it could be? Like how long did you?
I would say 2 weeks probably. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And you said no movement, immobilized. So like, yeah, stuck on the couch.
Yeah.
Can't drive. Yeah. Can't do a lot. And you're on like, heavy duty pain medication too, which is not a good thing either.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess by comparison, usually that doesn't happen after that.
No,
not after you have a baby. I mean,
they're not.
No, they're not giving you anything.
No,
You're
they're
like,
here's this tiny person. Good luck.
But then you might not notice the pain because you're distracted by the oxytocin. Hormones are so powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the lack of sleep and
everything that goes with,
everything that comes
everything
with
goes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insomnia. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thanks for letting me. I haven't shared that story. Like it's been years. So thanks for allowing me to share.
Details matter. The details matter. And then if you don't mind us moving on to after the 5. So 5 months, when you say you were 5 months, the size of a 5-month fetus.
Okay, so that
for the fibroids,
let's fast forward.
Yeah.
So I have 2 babies.
Next chapter.
Yeah, next chapter.
I have 2 babies, 2 C-sections, wonderful, all healthy. My kids are grown and flown, so we're good. However, I think I was starting menopause, maybe perimenopausal, and had this bloating around my abdomen. But it wasn't like it was just that normal belly fat. It was kind of hard. Like it was firm. Like almost like a pregnancy firm. Sure. So I just kept thinking, this is really strange. This is weird. I let it go on for weeks, like weeks. And my clothes started getting tighter. And I felt like, okay, this is, and I'm, like I said, I'm super active. I work out all the time. I lift weights. I strength train. I do all the things. I'm like, okay, this is really weird that I'm starting to like gain this much weight. But I wasn't really gaining weight. It was just literally around my belly. So I finally go to my doctor, does an ultrasound, does multiple ultrasounds, and discovers that I have now another fibroid that has grown to the size of a 5-month fetus. So if you can imagine, when a woman is 5 months pregnant, that's what my belly looked like. That's why my clothes were
Weren't
getting
fitting.
tight.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, my choices were, at that time, this was 11 years ago, another myomectomy, right? If I wanted to go through that again, but I'm done having kids. That's why we had the myomectomy in the first place. So I could preserve my uterus and continue to try to have kids, or have a hysterectomy. And, at that point, I was in my 40s, and I was like, take it. Yeah. I don't want to go through this again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how was recovery from that?
I'd say it was pretty good. I mean, not pretty good, but like, compared to some of the recoveries, I think it's okay. It was okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
More manageable than.
Yeah. A couple of days. Yeah.
So, and when in this journey did the great cannabis plant come to you? And
Yes.
say, don't worry, I'm enough in this journey.
Okay. So thanks for asking. All right. So I'm full-blown menopause. I'm 56 years old, right? I'm in full-blown menopause. Sure. And I've done HRT.
Okay.
Sometimes I've felt that it has felt amazing. And sometimes I'm like, is this really working? Sure. I don't know. I'm not here to say it's good or bad. Yeah. I'm just here to say my experience I've had good positive experiences, and I've had not so good positive experiences with it. Okay. And I know that there's all kinds of controversy out there. Mm-hmm. That's not what I'm here to talk about. Earlier this year, let's go back to late last year, early this year, I started to gain that weight. Yes. I never had gained it before, right? I kept fit, kept active. I feel like I eat very clean. I feel like I take care of my body. I do all the things, right? I journal, I meditate, I practice yoga, I do breathing exercises, I do strength training, I eat super clean. I do all the things that encompass a holistic lifestyle. Sure. Except now I'm gaining weight around my belly. Mm-hmm. And my clothes are fitting tighter. Again, I'm not, and I'm also not feeling 100%. I'm very in tune with what my body feels, and I'm moody, I'm tired, I'm kind of lethargic. I don't feel like I have a lot of energy. So I started looking for holistic alternatives to help with that. So I saw a functional medicine doctor. I paid thousands of dollars to have, the urine test, the stool test, the saliva test. Are you familiar with all of these?
Yep, I am. Yes.
Yes. So I had it all done. And then they put me on a slew of supplements. I am all for supplements. I really am. But I was taking 15 to 18 a day. Yeah. And I'm like, this cannot be good for me. It cannot be good for my liver or my kidneys. And I'm going to throw up every time I swallow these.
Right. And it's expensive. Like the cost too of the supplements.
Thousands.
Insane.
Between the doctor, the supplements, the program that I'm on, I'm spending thousands of dollars. And I'm like, there has to be something better. Mm-hmm. All right. So we'll pause that. I also run a business in the cannabis industry it's a digital marketing agency, and we do marketing for dispensaries. Okay. Great. It's called the Toke Agency. I had a woman come to me with bringing me a potential client. Okay. So she scheduled a call. We get on a call. We're talking. She's around the same age that I am. I don't know how the word menopause came up, but we start talking about menopause. And I think maybe I had a doctor's appointment or something that day, which is why it was on my mind. And she goes, oh, I just take Hello Again. And I'm like, what's Hello Again? Yeah. Like I've never even heard of Hello Again. And I'm pretty in tune with what there is out there in the world. So I Google it, and it's a cannabis-based vaginal suppository for women who have menopausal symptoms, sleep issues, period pain. There's also a hangover product. And I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. Sidebar. we go back to our conversation, right? Because we're talking business. And I text her, I don't know, maybe a week later. I'm like, what's the name of that company that you told, or that thing that you use for menopause? And then she just says hello again. So I Google it again. I'm going on a little road trip with a friend of mine, and he's my business partner. And I start talking to him, and I'm like, I'm really interested in this business, and they're selling it. And I kind of like the idea of it. And so we Google it again. We get on a call with the lady who told me about it. She was helping them sell the company. I knew none of this. I wasn't looking to buy a business.
Sure.
I wasn't like, none of this was happening. And I don't know, the more I dug into it and the more research I did and the more intrigued I was like, oh my God, this is what I need. This is what I've been looking for. I don't want to be high all the time,
Nope.
but I know all the powerful medicinal benefits of cannabis and cannabinoids and CBD, CBG, CBN, all the minor cannabinoids. I've been doing a lot of research. I'm in the cannabis industry. I hear people talking. I read books, I read articles, and I was like, this is really super intriguing. Like, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is something different. So long story short, I love the product so much I bought the company.
So amazing.
Epic.
Yeah.
Applause. Rounds of applause go here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love
Thank
to
you.
hear it.
Yeah. So it was originally sold in dispensaries in California because it was marijuana based. And we are going to make it a hemp based product, and we're going nationwide in January.
Yeah.
Woo!
Wow, what a time to be able to make that more accessible. That's
Yes.
fantastic.
Super, super excited to make it. When I tried it consistently, because here's the thing. If your doctor tells you you're low on vitamin D and you go pop one vitamin D pill, it's not going to shoot your vitamin D up to its normal level, right? And it's the same thing with cannabis. Your endocannabinoid system is dysregulated, and you have to regulate it. And that's why I feel like these vaginal suppositories work so well, because the delivery system is vaginally. You're not getting the head high. It's not passed through your liver. Remember all those 15, 20 vitamins that I was taking every day? So you're getting all the benefits without the high. And I mean, a woman's vagina is loaded with endocannabinoid receptors. And so when you're putting a suppository that has cannabis in it, or CBD, or a combination of both, it is adhering to those endocannabinoid receptors, and it's really making an impact where we need it most, in our pelvic area. So back in 2018, when the Farm Bill became legal and Texas, you could start selling CBD and CBG and all of these minor cannabinoids, I started selling through this company called Zalise, but it was a multi-level marketing, those kind of things. But I started selling these tinctures, and you put them under your tongue, and you're supposed to get the benefits of the cannabinoids. But that's really when I started learning about the endocannabinoid system, because I would go to their meetings that they would put on, because they of course wanted to get more people to buy the product and to sell the product. But they hosted these meetings that were super educational and informative. And that's where, and so because I was selling the product and I felt like I needed to know a little bit about what they were providing, I started researching the endocannabinoid system. I mean, this cabinet behind me right here is loaded with books that are vagina, menopause, endocannabinoids, marijuana, cannabis, all the things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I'm glad that I'm so glad that we met, and I'm very excited to learn from you and to use the product and to spread the word, because our vision too, I'm not going to say me, but I think for both of us is just this: we need our voices to be heard. We want this ridiculous pain to be heard and to be discussed and researched, and moving through it is not enough. Like, we have to do something about it. So
Yeah, we don't want to be dismissed.
no, enough of that. Enough. And now the fight just got a little bit harder. So we're going to be a lot louder, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember my mom when I was younger, and she was on antidepressants, anti-anxiety pills. I mean, I don't even know. There were times that she wouldn't even get up in the mornings because she was probably so strung out on whatever cocktail they had put her on.
Ugh,
yeah.
Yeah. Too much.
Too much.
No,
Yes.
I am a frequent Cannabis user, so I'm very curious if I'll just be like, it feels normal, or if I'll be like, no, this is a whole other level. But I'm also really excited about the alternate application method to other ways of consuming. That's such a relief to know.
Well, so Jessica, you get the body high, not the head high. So if you're really in tune with your body, you will feel it. You will feel it. And I would say, within 15, 20 minutes, like once it melts, it's going into your body.
Great. It's just like getting off of this and putting it because I'm like, my uterus.
Yeah.
No, we need the tools to help us endure so that we can fight with our voices to be recognized, so that then the research and development of new social systems can occur. We have to survive our periods so that we can actually contribute all these great things. Thank you for all your contributing in the business front to make sure cannabis and healing modalities stay in business.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes.
Epic. What? Yes, rounds of applause. And to talk us through so listeners can get excited to try.
Yes.
Suppository usage.
Yes.
Talk us through how one works with the medicine.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, helloagainproducts.com. Shameless plug.
Love it.
We'll have it in the show notes.
For sure.
Also, our website right now is currently, you could sign up for our newsletter as of today, but by December, you will be able to start pre-ordering the product. So
perfect.
Want to say that. Okay. I could show you. Do you want me to show you?
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you. All right. So vaginal suppositories, these are made with cannabinoids, minor cannabinoids.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do hemp. They currently have THC. These also are loaded with botanicals. And so each specific formula, sleep, menopause, period, has botanicals that are specifically for that symptom. So for instance, and I'm going to grab one back here. So like period. Okay. So it's going to have hemp seed oil, avocado oil, passion fruit seed oil, pine needle extract, lang lang, bergamot, rosemary. Those things have been studied. If you go and look them up, they're essential oils. They really help with pain, with bloating, with mood. So it's very specific to the actual SKU that you're buying, whether it's period, sleep, menopause. All right. So this is what they look like. They come in these little packs. These are actually medical grade packages.
Okay.
And they literally split open like a banana. So
perfect.
Can you see
what
I'm doing?
You're good.
Yep. Okay.
Great.
So they pop
there it
out.
is. Yep.
These are cocoa butter based.
Great.
And they melt inside your body. So obviously we have very warm temperature inside our body. You stick these inside your vagina and they melt inside your vagina. It could get a little messy. They could come out, what you put in comes out, right?
Yep.
So I would recommend wearing a panty liner with them. They smell good because they have all these great botanicals. You don't get high and your pH balance stays normal. And here's the other thing, because we did a lot of research. The founders of the company did a lot of research on, because you are putting them in your vagina, right? So you have to be very cautious as to the pH balance. And so everything that's in there has been tested and approved. And we have thousands of women that use these products today.
Yeah. I'm taking them to my wine night tonight. Just to
Yes, you
I am. I'm like, oh, my girls are going to love this. So,
yes. Super excited.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
You mean like you're going to put them in and then drink wine?
I might. Because I know this ovulation pain is like nobody's business. So, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
And we're going to come out. So when we go to market, we'll have sleep, period, and menopause, a woman's wellness pack. We are not going to go to market with hangover. We're changing it. It's going to be more of like an anxiety type recovery. One of the things being in menopause, and one of the things that I've researched and read, anxiety.
Sky high.
Yes. And then you add things like politics, and you add things, you just add
The
to
world,
it, right?
yeah.
The world. Yes. And so, I actually use hangover as an anxiety product. And when I started discovering, like, I did some research on the botanicals, and I was like, okay, it really is hangxiety, and it also is recovery. So soreness and all, so that will come out after we go to market, but period, menopause, sleep. So can I just tell you how it's changed my life with going to sleep?
Please.
Go on.
Tell us everything.
Okay. So night sweats, waking up in the middle of the night, can't go back to sleep, tossing, turning, all the things. I wear an Oura ring.
Yeah.
So I do monitor my sleep. I am able to track and tell. And if I go back to like April, May, June, before I had been using these products consistently, you'll see my sleep. It's like up and down,
Crazy.
up and down, crazy. I'll have like a score of somewhere in the 70s sometimes. Every time now, it's like high 80s or 90s. I don't wake up sweating.
Oh, can't wait.
Because cannabis cools your body temperature down. So these have a 3-prong approach, I should say. All right. So they act as a vasodilator, which brings blood flow to your vagina. They act as a muscle relaxer, so relaxing the pelvic floor. And then they act as a lubricant because they are cocoa butter based.
Right. Oh, it's
so
so
good.
You
get all three of it at the same time. And we have women that have sent us messages that tell us that they use it for endometriosis pain, polycystic ovarian disease.
Just thinking about my clients like that. Yeah.
Pelvic pain. We have clients that use it for, so when you think of period, I don't want you to just think it's just for bloating and cramping. It is really more than that. Also, mood enhancer is in there, because I don't know about you, but when I was on my period, I was very premenstrual. Like,
oh yeah. PMDD is a real thing, and having the rages, like, I might have those today. It's pretty great.
Yeah. And also, like, I would get headaches from being on my period, those piercing headaches.
Yes.
So I'm going to tell you, I had a headache probably an hour before we jumped on this show. Okay. I just literally popped a suppository and it's totally gone away.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah. I think the spinal fluid and hormonal and menstrual connection is like so under-researched. The headache connection.
The headache. Yeah. I mean, and I'm reading and researching so much right now because I want to be very, very informed, so that I could speak, very educational in an educational manner about the products. And I want to be super informed. I'm speaking to doctors. I'm reading books. I'm doing research. I'm talking to scientists about the formulation. I've talked to literally this week alone, I've talked to 4 OBGYNs that work with cannabis. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. What a wealth of information you're dispatching and channeling to talk to. I have so much intel.
Yes.
And it begs the question, absorbing so much knowledge, what was your early education like about this? Was there any for you?
Okay, so I grew up in the 80s, right? War on drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that messed me up. That messed me up for a while.
I think it got us all. I mean,
it got us all.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really interesting thing to look at. Like, that was your intro, and now look at where you are. It's like helping women who are struggling, right? Using something that is going to be amazing for them. So
full circle.
Yes, completely.
Sarah, you know what I want? the products will sell themselves. I know they will sell themselves because they're a phenomenal product, and the feedback and the inquiries that we get and the questions and people, when are you going to be in my state? I can't wait to buy it. I want to create a movement. I want to create this really safe environment for women to speak about whatever issues that they have that are female related, and create this community. And so that is like on my vision board as far as like what I want to do with this product. But I also want to empower women to understand their bodies and understand the healing power of cannabis and what it could really do for you. Because I think we all have this stigma, again, me growing up in the 80s, right? Drugs are so bad, so bad, so bad, so bad. And that people only use cannabis to get high. Yeah. And there's so many medicinal benefits in so many ways. We have cancer patients who use this, men and women both, because of the delivery system, because of the way, we have men who use these, and I know I'm talking all female, all women, and we do have men who use these rectally. We have a large gay community that uses these. We have, like I said, cancer patients that use these. That also, we have people who want to use medicinal cannabis and don't want to be high. Yeah. So
for sure.
There you go. I want this movement. I want this community. I want it to be a safe place for holistic options. Yes. And again, I'm going to go back to the very beginning, what I said. I'm not for or against HRT. This could be used in conjunction with HRT. It could be used in conjunction with whatever else you are using currently, or replacing whatever else you are using currently. So it's just really, I want to just have options for women to choose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Here's to options and women choosing.
And community, right?
Community,
which is what we absolutely have to do now, right? Like,
yes.
Even more so than what you did before.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to create a community. I mean, like, I've already started creating that, just technically setting it up on the back end of our website and all these options so that we can have this safe space. And it's not, I don't want to go in there to sell product. It's really to go in there and really just empower women and build up the community. Look, I run 2 women-owned companies. I run an agency that is women founded, run, and, empowered. My 2 other teammates are women. And then I run the Hello Again, which is women for women by women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it has a wonderful log line about saying hello to yourself again.
Yes. Yeah. Bringing it full circle. 'Cause that's what, so let me go back and say, I've been using the product consistently for a little over 2.5 months. I mean, I started stop because I didn't have enough supply when I was going through the process of acquiring it. But now I use it consistently. And I'm telling you, my sleep has changed. I monitor it. I have data to back that up. My mood, my balance, everything. I feel different, and I could tell that I feel different because I'm so in tune with my body.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
This is so exciting.
Yes. I know. So
Thank
exciting.
you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today and exploring Hello Again. We are so excited about it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for allowing me. Thanks for inviting me. I love sharing, and I love being on this and talking to other women who get it.
Yes. Oh.
Yes, keep the conversation going. Check out our program notes for how to get a hold of the product, how to get in touch with Lisa, how to get in touch with us. And also, Sarah and I are going to be trying some and making some videos. So don't forget to follow at How's Your Flow so you can see us and our report back on this amazing evolution of healing modalities. And then we'll see you all next month on Flow. Flow is produced by Bloodstream Media. Big shout out to our creative director, Amy Board, and our editor, Kay Vermeil. New episodes of Flow will be available the second Thursday of every month.
Hey, that's the day after I stopped menstruating.
And thanks to our sponsor, Takeda, for their support of Flow.